Hello and welcome back to the Pasta Podcast, where we talk about nothing but pasta. Today we will not be talking about pasta. Today we will be rating our lowest rated movies. I, of course, am a pasta chef. My name is Gigi. What is your name, fellow pasta chef?
I'm Pasta Chef Olivia. Welcome everybody.
Yeah. We did an episode where we talked about the greatest movies that we watched in 2023. I figured we would just go through our lowest rated ones of like all time.
Yeah. This is not just in 2023. This is of all time.
Yeah, because I don't really watch many movies that I don't think I'm gonna enjoy.
And I want a disclaimer. This is all I could go through on my Letterboxd. My Letterboxd does not have a lot because I got it recently. And so this is what I got. So
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
yeah. I
But yeah.
don't have very many either, and that's mostly because I just don't watch a lot of movies. Some of these you're gonna be surprised, I think. Okay, one of these you're gonna be surprised. Maybe another.
Okay. So
Anyways,
well, shall we start? Shall we just
yeah,
go
you
through
want to
them?
go first?
Oh, okay. My first one is Joker. I gave that one star.
Oh my god.
And I didn't say I liked it. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. I've seen the one where he's laughing. I've seen like that clip of him laughing and going.
Yeah,
um,
it's okay. It is a very well done movie, but I feel like to enjoy the movie, you have to be there has to be something wrong mentally. Like that movie just I didn't like watching it. I like it made me uncomfortable and I don't get why they're trying to turn a very like the worst villain into a hero.
yeah,
Like you're kind of like rooting for him, but you shouldn't be. He's a terrible person.
yeah. I feel like there are movies that do that like kind of well, where they have like an anti-hero. It's not something that can be done very easily. I don't think.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you want to root for the hero. Anti-hero stories are really hard to do, I think. Um, and like the one anti-hero story that I've watched that it wasn't a movie, where you don't really like the character but you kind of get it. um is Dexter, which is a show about a serial killer.
Well, yeah, but
And
he's like a Robin Hood type of character.
yeah, he gets rid of the bad guys, but sometimes they're not actually bad guys and sometimes he has to kill an innocent and it's not a good thing. um but also, like, he doesn't struggle that much with it because he's a psychopath or a sociopath. I don't know. There's a distinction there that I don't know because I'm not a psychologist.
A psychopath has like no emotions, and a sociopath has no empathy, I'm pretty sure.
Well, okay, the thing is that I always thought that, like, this is very off topic, but I always thought that psychopaths were like born with it, and sociopaths, something happened like in their childhood that made their brain develop in a different way.
I get
And
that.
technically, if we're going off that, he's a sociopath because he saw his mother murdered in front of him when he was like 3. So that's the reason that he does that, or at least that's the reason that they credit it. I feel
Yeah.
like because his brother was also there with them and he also becomes, so I feel like maybe that could have just been
Well,
in the family. Anyways.
anyways, I'm the Joker. I needed to continue. We went a little off topic there. But on the Joker, I did want to say that people see this movie as one of the greatest comic book movies. It's like the farthest thing you can get from comic accurate. He dresses up as a clown, and that's the closest distinction we get. The Joker
He
in the
looks like
comic,
the Joker and he's called the Joker, and that's the only
yeah.
similarities.
I think his name is Arthur Fleck. I want to say, in the movie, in the comics, he doesn't like have an identity. He's just like a psycho, um, which is another. distinction. He's a psychopath. He doesn't feel anything towards anyone. But also in the comics, whenever he has an identity of some sort, it's always like Jack something. But I just think it's weird. And like they had some weird thing where he like talked to a kid Bruce Wayne. It's just weird. And like they made up this whole fake relationship that he made up in his head and he played out the whole thing. It's creepy and I don't like it, and it's a bad movie overall. I gave it 1 star on Letterboxd.
Yeah. Well, were there
Sorry.
any redeeming qualities about that movie at all?
Um Music's pretty good.
I figured that we would talk about redeeming qualities to, be like, if you want to watch it for this reason, I guess.
No, that's good.
Um,
Yeah, that's all I got. I
okay.
hate that movie.
The first one on mine is also a superhero movie. We watched this one together, Black Adam, and I gave it 1 star.
You gave it 1 star.
Listen, I don't think I was supposed to be laughing at parts where I was laughing, but I thought that some of the plot points were ridiculous.
Yeah.
And okay. First off, I thought that they were calling him a name that they were not calling him because
Death Adam.
yeah, I don't, because when you watch a movie in the theaters, it doesn't have captions unless they're speaking like a different language. At least in America, they have to put captions for different languages. But because there were no captions, I heard "death" and went, yes, death. Because that made more sense to me. Listen, I didn't read any of the comics about Black Adam, but he was killing people, so I was like, yo, I get that he's
The
killing
funny
people, but
thing
that's
is
really rude.
you carried this thought through like weeks after we'd seen the movie, and you said some comment to me about
I
him
say
being named
I
Death Adam.
said it with my full chest.
And I was like, who the heck is Death Adam? And
I
you were like,
believed it to my
Black
core.
Adam.
I was like, yo, why were they calling him that the whole movie? That's so rude. They were like, oh, we care about this guy. He's been through some stuff, but we're still gonna say that he's a death machine. And that's what I thought they
um,
were doing.
you
Um,
gotta admit though, Dr. Fate and Cyclone in that slay.
I guess. I don't know. I honestly I was paying so little attention, as you can see from the the thing that I thought they were calling him.
I've
Um,
seen it like twice.
yeah, I think I only watched it the one time. But I did you take
You're
the
due
rest
for a
of your
rewatch,
family?
Gigi.
No, no.
All right.
What
Well, is
are we
there
watching?
any redeeming qualities you think about that movie?
Redeeming quality. We see Superman's hair at the end of the movie.
He makes some comment about him being like an
And
like a well deserved opponent or something like that. It's
yeah.
so stupid.
And you know what? At the end of the movie he says, "I am Black Adam." Like Superman or Iron Man, that's what I meant. Um Instead of saying I am Iron Man, because he's not Iron Man, he says I am Black Adam. And then
That
the movie,
movie was so much action. It was so much action.
it was too much action. They did not spend enough time on this
There
emotional
was
stuff.
so much destruction. Just like they destroyed a town, like a whole city.
Yeah. And I don't know why that kid was like looking up to him. I'm gonna be honest. Based off of all the stories, he was like, "Yeah, look up to this guy. What did he do? He started a war, or or he fought in a war. He tried to kill people.
Yeah, not a good guy.
What did he do? He was given these superpowers, and instead of becoming good, he became evil."
Gigi, I just thought I'd let you know. I just looked up at my Pop Toy shelf and I have a Black Adam up there.
Yo.
Right next to I forget his name from Shazam. The kid with the crutch. What's his name?
Freddy.
Freddy. I have Freddy Shazam right next to him, and Dr. Fate on the other side of him.
But yeah, anyways, redeeming quality of Black Adam is just the hair and the fact that he announced it at the end of the movie, and that's how I knew that they were going to roll credits, you know? You need to announce that the movie's going to end before the movie ends. I personally
Yeah,
think that.
I think so.
Okay.
All right. The next one on my list is the movie It.
I've never
I,
seen it.
I think I rated it 1 star. I'm only gonna say a few things about it just because I don't like to think about it.
Yeah.
I despise that movie. It is so much gore for so little reason. I watched it when I was going through my I'm a cool kid, I watch rated R movies phase, and I did not like watching it. And it was a bad experience overall. It's terrible. I don't like Stephen King. There's something wrong with that man. Um, he should have his privileges taken away. I don't know why we still give him them. But I also remember I saw that movie at the movie theater we work at like a year, like 2 years before we worked there.
Hmm.
And it was like you had to pick your own seats and like not on the up front, like you had to walk in and choose them just when you sat down. And
Yeah.
there wasn't, I went with my mom and my friend Elise, and my mom, I felt really bad. So my mom, there wasn't 3 seats together. So me and Elise sat in 2 seats, and then my mom sat 1 seat above us. And me and Elise were loud the whole movie because we were so uncomfortable. So yeah, I don't like that movie. I have very bad memories associated with it. Is there any redeeming qualities? No, it sucks. I'm sorry.
You know what? I have two things to say about Stephen King. One is that he was mentioned in the two-parter that ended Hannah Montana. Because Miley gets a deal for a big movie that he wrote. And then she's like, I gotta go do it. And then she's like, never mind, I'm gonna go to college. um, and she does that. She makes that decision like 5 times, by the way. It's insane how many times she decides one or the other. Um, anyways, and the second thing is that the reason that he wrote The Shining was because he went to a hotel and instead of having an actual paranormal experience, he had a scary dream about his child. So he wrote The Shining. That's it. He didn't have any paranormal experiences. He had a bad dream.
And also, my parents always say that the Shining movie is way better than the book. And
Yeah.
the Shining book apparently did not do very well, but the movie did great. So,
I think it's mostly because of the acting. I watched The Shining. It was a good movie. I didn't like the I mean like it was decently scary and everything, but I didn't like the premise of the movie because I'm not a horror or thriller person.
I don't like the movie.
The acting was good. He was
I'm glad that the
definitely
bad guy
going
gets
insane.
it. I'm glad that the
Yeah.
bad guy gets it, but
And because of a kid outsmarting him, because he makes fake footsteps and then he tracks back into it so that his dad goes further into the maze and he gets frostbite, and that's the meme photo. Which, when you see the meme before the movie, it makes it a little bit less scary, but not that much because they put this giant stinger on the still image.
yeah.
Um,
I think the creepiest part of that movie, I mean, I've never seen all the way through, but I've seen enough clips from it that I'm pretty sure
yeah,
I've seen it. Um, but one of the creepiest parts of that movie is when it's like at the I think it's like at the end when they have the picture on the wall and he's in the picture. It's creepy.
yeah,
But we're not reading The Shining.
no.
It
I mean, it
sucks.
was okay. Yeah. Um,
What is your
mo-
movie?
moving on. This one you're gonna be surprised and you're gonna disagree, but I need you to know that before I say the title, it got 1.5 more points because it had really good acting in it. And it's Split. Split is a bad movie. It makes fun of people who have a real disorder and a real disease that is caused by real trauma. So, no, they don't become superheroes. They're just traumatized people that you're making fun of. But I will say, I don't remember what his name is right now, but the main guy, he does really good, like, he's a really good actor.
Oh,
Um, And also Anya Taylor-Joy is in it, and I like her. So she's our final girl.
Um, God, I forget his name. Um, he is a good actor though. He's in a lot of really good stuff. That's
Yeah.
another thing is like that sort of thing is not that well played out in the media. Like you don't hear about it often, but like when you do, it's like people are not educated on it at all. Like they have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I mean, I don't have DID obviously, so I don't think I have a stance in rating how accurate things are, but if we were, I think the show Moon Knight that Marvel made is a really good representation of it. Um, because they like humanize it almost. And I mean, he is a superhero. He's really cool, and I love Oscar Isaac, so it helps. And he is
Yeah.
very nice to look at. And also, they have another. They introduced a whole new superhero in the movie that never had comics before, and she is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
anyways, um Split is not a very good movie.
what
I
did you
don't
rate
think that
Split?
they I rated it two and a half, but I rated it higher because of the acting.
Mm-hmm.
Um and also Anya Taylor Joy.
Anya
um
Taylor-Joy.
but otherwise it would have been a one because it's not like the first time I watched it, I didn't know anything about DID, so I thought that it was like really good and it was like scary and everything. But then I got educated and I took a psychology class too because I took one in high school and then I took one in junior college. And it's just, it's not accurate and it's kind of offensive. And also, we shouldn't be implying that people with mental disorders probably will become serial killers and assaulters because that's implied. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's not something we should be doing. We should be helping these people, not demonizing them through the media.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall opinion, I hate that movie, but redeeming quality, good acting.
Mm-hmm.
They got good people in this. They had unnecessary scenes in it though, so I don't think that they needed to imply some of the stuff that they implied.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
moving
right.
on.
So my next movie is The Lighthouse. Um, this might be the most controversial thing I've said on here. Um, but that's one of the worst movies I've seen. And I know my opinion doesn't matter. I know it doesn't because people
What about
still
the
watch
room?
this movie. No, The Room was so good though. It's so good it's bad.
I
It's so
said
bad
that.
it's good.
I
No,
said
but
that
I'm talking
to.
about The Lighthouse. The
Okay.
Lighthouse starring two of the greatest actors of our generation. And I don't remember what I rated it. I think I rated it one just because it left me with a weird feeling. Um that's I think that's the reason I rated it so low is it left me with a weird feeling and they showed stuff that they did not have to show. But I think they just did it for like the shock value kind of thing. Um but Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe are so good in that movie. Like it's like it might be like their greatest acting I've ever seen of them both. There's a scene with Willem Dafoe where he does this whole speech and he doesn't blink for like 3 minutes.
You showed me that.
That's nuts. And I mean it's one of those movies where after you watch it you can't stop talking about it, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
Um
No,
it's
I
just
remember when you watched it because you talked about it to me like three separate times on three different like days. And I was like, Olivia, you gotta stop showing me this video of his speech. You were like, I
yeah.
hated this movie. And I was like, then why are you still talking about it?
No, like I couldn't stop talking about it because like I couldn't get it out of my head. It was just like stuck with me in a gross way. Like
Well,
just made me feel
some movies
uneasy.
are like that. Sometimes they're so good that you have to talk about them forever, and sometimes they're so god awful that you're like, I need to talk this through so that I can understand it and leave it behind, you know?
But
Um,
honestly, it's like I don't know. I mean, film buffs love that movie. Like they eat that stuff up. But also I just didn't have fun watching it. I dreaded every scene.
Yeah, I think that this so far has just taught me that we're not really horror people. We
Yeah.
don't really like
Redeeming,
thrillers.
redeeming qualities, acting is amazing. That's
Yeah,
it.
I think that's a redeeming quality in most low-rated movies is the acting. Um,
All right,
moving
what's
on.
your next one? Yeah.
This one I think that you've watched, and I think you told me not to watch it, but I did. Suicide Squad. I rated it 1 star, and it would have been
That's
zero
on
if
my list.
Letterboxd let me rate it as zero.
That's on my list. Now, is it Suicide Squad or The Suicide Squad?
No, it's Suicide Squad.
Okay. I've
Because I
never
didn't
seen The
watch.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I was gonna
I hear
watch
it's much better.
I was gonna watch the Suicide Squad after I watched this one, but I hated this one so much that I was like, I don't want to watch this one. At this point, I don't even want to watch Birds of Prey, which I heard was really good.
Oh, Birds of Prey is terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Um, one of the
but it's got more Harley Quinn in it, doesn't it?
yeah, it does, but she's not pleasant. And also they have the Birds of Prey in the comics usually don't include Harley Quinn, and I don't like the lack of Oracle because she's the one who runs the Birds of Prey, but she's not in the movie. And also,
Uh,
Cassandra Cain, who's Batgirl in like the current run and stuff, she's like a full grown woman, like she's like nearing 30. Um, she's a child in Birds of Prey, and she does not have the same background. All they did is, since Cassandra Cain is Asian in the comic books, they took a little Asian girl and they made her a completely different character and just gave her the same name. Stupid.
Weird.
Anyways,
Anyways, Suicide Squad did
yeah.
not like it. I skipped through so many parts because A, it was boring me, and B, too much action. I know it's an action movie, but there was too much. There was not enough backstory of like all of these different characters. They threw me into the deep end with all of these people that I think even like I don't know if this is your what's not your experience, then I'll be wrong. But I feel like some of these characters we didn't know, even if you're like a big comic fan. Some of these characters felt new, and I was like, I don't know what their motivation for doing this
Mhm,
is. You didn't tell
mhm.
me. So,
Is King Shark in that movie? I forget.
I don't know.
Okay. I think he might be in the Suicide Squad, but I don't think he's in the first one. But is Captain Boomerang in that one?
Maybe. I
um,
gotta tell you, I did not pay attention to that movie. I know
which
that
is
Harley Quinn was in it, and she mentioned her relationship with the Joker very briefly, and he was in it for a second, and that's it.
yeah, I remember the Joker. I think that was Jared Leto's first introduction into being the Joker, and it did not land well.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, oh, it's Jared Leto Joker. It's
Of
not
all
any of the other
Jokers,
ones.
the Joker, the literally the worst character that I hate so much. I don't like him at all. I don't like any interpretation. Actually, that's a lie. I like some interpretations of him. I don't like him. I've never liked the character. Um, Putting Jared Leto as him made me like him even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm sorry. That's all actually on my list too. I think I rated it 1 star. Um, but it's just I haven't seen it in so many years, so I don't know. I might have a different opinion about it. But in all the different interpretations of Harley Quinn I've seen, that one is my least favorite.
Yeah. I I don't think they did anybody justice in that movie. I feel like I could have liked the characters if they had just taken a little time and effort in some places. Um,
Yeah, I remember when that was coming out, and my mom is a huge Harley Quinn fan, so she was so excited to see it. And when we saw it, we were so disappointed. And then my mom was like, because she was about to buy merch for it and stuff, and she was like, "I'm so glad I didn't buy merch for it."
yeah. Um, yeah, redeeming quality Margot
Margot
Robbie,
Robbie's
I
hot.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's always a redeeming quality in every movie.
Isn't Katana in that movie for like 5 seconds?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, I do remember Katana being in it. Guess what her main trait is?
Katanas?
Yeah, she carries a katana.
Yo.
Yeah. I remember I've never read a comic with her, but I know that she's a semi good person in the comics, so I don't know. I like her character. So I don't know. I forget how well she is in the movie, but well, she's also a redeeming quality, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways,
Moving
should
on.
I go mine?
Yeah.
The movie Good Time. Oh, another Robert Pattinson one. Oh, let's talk about this for a second. Have you ever seen this movie? I think I told you about it.
No.
Um,
I don't think I know anything about it.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. The main premise of the movie is that they're trying to find a Sprite bottle that's filled with LSD so they can sell it and get a ton of money. And he breaks his very injured brother out of the hospital, or so he thinks, but it's not his brother, and so he like takes him home. I don't remember. All I'm gonna say is it's not a good time.
He doesn't. Wait, hold on. He doesn't recognize his brother until after he breaks
It's got
him
like
out.
raps on his face.
I feel like I would have at least checked, or been
But
like, hey, can you speak to me so that I know that it's you?
Robert Pattinson's accent in that movie is so funny. He's got like a New Jersey accent. It's hilarious.
Is it bad?
No, it's really good. That's what makes it funny.
Oh, that's good to hear. Maybe
Robert
I gotta
Pattinson is
watch
like
it.
he's like got really good accents, and so it's like really funny to like just he picks the weirdest roles. Gigi, he loves doing weird stuff. Look at
Yeah.
Twilight.
That wasn't
But
that weird. I don't know. Honestly, compared to some of the things compared to the lighthouse, doesn't that seem kind of tame?
no, you're right. It is tame, but also the lore to Twilight is so much weirder. Um,
Well, doesn't he like to a mermaid or something?
oh no, I don't think he does it to a mermaid because the mermaid is like fake. Like they just picture it, like they just imagine it, and they imagine like the mermaid vagina a lot, and they just show like close-ups of it.
So isn't that just a normal one but with fish gills?
It's like wavy. It's got like fins.
Why would you want to? I feel like that would never make me want to ever have sex again. I would be
Um.
terrified.
Anyways, what's your next movie?
Okay. Um, Camp Rock 2. I give it 1.5 stars. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Camp Rock 1, awful, but it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. I think that it is a masterpiece in its own way. I think that the ending is really bad though because they put like all of the big songs at the end. They play like 4 songs in a row because it's like Final Jam, which is the sequel title by the way too. So they have like all of the performances at the end, but they play all of the performances. So it's really overwhelming with music. Um, and like it's like the first movie is like bad, but you can get through it. But the second movie is completely unnecessary and just like sad. The premise of the second movie is that like if they don't win this competition, the Camp Rock camp will cease to exist because of the
The
other
camp will no
camp.
longer rock.
The camp will longer rock. The other camp will rock, and the camp that rocks is not called Camp Rock. Um, but yeah, and it was a plot twist that they did not win. So they spend the whole time after that being sad. Like it's towards the end that they don't win, but they have like 15 minutes of being sad to do that. Anyways, um, but yeah, it's a very sad ending, and let me tell you, they use the same plot point twice in this. Um, in these two movies to create strife because in the first movie the like mean girl of the movie because it's a teenage movie they have to they have to have a mean girl, it's Disney. um they have her like betray the camp in some way, and then in the second at the end of the first movie she's like I've learned, I've learned my lesson, I'm not going to do that again. And then the second movie, she gets offered to go to the other camp that's doing better than Camp Rock, and she just completely disregards everything that happened last movie and just leaves she leaves to that camp, and then at the end of the movie when they lose, she comes back and she's like, "Can I sit with you guys by the campfire?" Um, so also a pointless sacrifice, girl. If you if you're camp one, just stay there, you know.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I gave it 1.5 stars. It got its redeeming quality is I don't know, Demi Lovato was okay in it. She smiles really wide. And she sings, she opens her mouth a lot when she sings.
I can't
It's a
do a
little
smile.
oh, redeeming quality, the memes. Um if you ever watch those little recreations of the things that they do in Camp Rock on YouTube Shorts, those are really funny because those actually happened in the movie. I tell you,
Mm.
if you ever watch that one Camp Rock scene and it's a recreation of it, that happened in the movie. Honestly, like word for word, action for action, that's what they put in the movie.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, it's not a good movie, but the first one's okay. I rewatch the first one sometimes when I'm bored.
well, that's good. At least one of them's good. Um,
Yeah,
shall we move on?
yeah.
Okay. My next one is actually a Tollywood film. Um, Meaning it's in Telugu. Um, and it's the only like Indian film I have on this list, and it's called Shakuntalam. Um, it's I'm not gonna say it's a real story, but it's like a really old story. I'm pretty sure. I feel like this wouldn't be a real story, but it's supposed to take place like my brother always says it takes place 1 BC, but it's just really old. It's like takes place like long ago, like before Jesus.
Before Jesus.
Yeah, before Jesus. Um, and it's basically this girl Shakuntala, and she is like the daughter of. She's like the daughter of two deities who live in heaven or something like that, but they couldn't bring her to. They couldn't have a child in heaven, so she had to go to earth, and so she lives at like this like there's like a bunch of like I don't know, like pilgrims. I don't know, like it's called like a hominage, hominage. I don't know, but it's basically like this group of guys and women who just like pray, and that's what they do all day. And they like worship animals and stuff. And that's where she lives. And then this king comes over, fights her battles for her, and she falls in love with him, and she gets pregnant with him, um, and then
And
she
then
like
it's revealed that it's Christ.
you know, and then she figures out that he like leaves because he has to go do something, but then when he returns she's like staring at him, she's like distracted, and there's one really angry guy, he's like, hey, listen to me, and she's like ignoring him, and he splashes a curse on her, and the curse makes him forget her, except for when he has an object that he gifted to her. That's when he remembers her. And so this woman gets pregnant. Like she's pregnant, and she has not seen her king because he forgot about her because he was cursed. And so she travels um to the to his kingdom or whatever, and then he's like, I don't know who you are, claiming you're my wife, claiming you're pregnant with my child. You're stupid. So he gets the whole village to hate her. So they like stone her in the village. And then she has her baby in a cave, in a tiger's cave.
Are we sure
And
this
then
isn't Jesus?
and then she like runs home, and then like several years later, like his gift get like he remembers her because he got a gift returned, and then everything's happy. Um the reason I rated it so low is because the terrible CGI, terrible, absolutely worst CGI I've ever seen. Like I've never seen worse CGI. Um, and I mean, actually, I'm putting too much emphasis on it. It's not that bad. Like it looks good, but it doesn't look good. Um, But yeah, that was mostly like rated it bad. I didn't like it very much. It was like an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
it sounds a little confusing.
It's just a little kitschy. And
Yeah.
it sucks because the girl who plays Shakuntala, I love her. She's good in everything she's in, and she's good in that. It's just like a painful movie to watch.
Yeah. Um any redeeming qualities?
Uh, um, Samantha Ruth Prabhu is really good in it, and that's it.
It's always the actors or the acting.
She's beautiful.
um I didn't realize that like three of the next ones are all also Disney movies. So I guess we're in my we're in my Disney hating era. Um but the next one on my list is Hannah Montana movie, because
Never
that
seen
movie made no goddamn sense. I rated it 2 stars. It's been a while since I actually watched it. I think I rated it on Letterboxd just to be like, okay, well, I've seen this before. So I was like getting them all out, and I was like, it wasn't that good. So I rated it 2 stars. I'd probably rate it lower if I watched it today. Um, but the reason I don't like it is because her secret gets revealed in that one. And I don't know if you know this, but the Hannah Montana movie takes place like after the second or third season, not the fourth, which is the final season. So her secret's not out to the world yet, but it's out to this one town that just like everybody promises they won't tell, and nobody does. And I don't know how I don't know how that works. And also she has like a love interest in the movie for no reason. Um, because he's not a recurring character on the show. He's in this town that she's just been to. Also, it's a complete, like, it's a footloose type of town. I think that's what they were trying to recreate, was like a PG footloose, because they did a lot of dancing and singing, and then, like, the singing was to be expected, but they also taught her how to like square dance or something, because it was a country town. So, but yeah, it's not a good movie. And they do mention at the end of one of the episodes, where the episode where she reveals that Miley Cyrus is Anne Montana, um, or I guess Miley Stewart, that's her last name. Big distinction, apparently. um, they make a little weird song sung by baby versions of real actors. Um, I'm not gonna keep describing this scene, but where they sing about it, and they're like, her secret's out, and these are the people that knew before it, and then they mention Crowley's Corners, which I'm guessing is the town's name, because they say all of Crowley's Corners. So I'm guessing that's the town's name. Haven't watched it in that long, so I don't remember, but by distinction. Anyways, redeeming quality is nothing. There wasn't actually. You know what? Redeeming quality. She sings the climb in that movie, and that is the best Hannah Montana song. I stand by it. The climb is better than any of the songs on Hannah Montana. Maybe okay. The song that they play in the last episode that goes like "I will remember you," that makes me cry a little. So
Oh,
maybe a little lower than that one. But anyways,
no, it's good.
yeah.
Um, my
Moving
next
on.
movie is, let's see, I can choose between a few. I don't know if I'm gonna say all of mine, but oh, The Godfather. um, this is considered one of the greatest movies of all time by many middle-aged men. Um, I don't like this movie. It's so boring. I fell asleep a few times. I woke up during the horse head part, and then I was very scared. Um, don't watch this movie. If you're gonna watch something with Marlon Brando in it, watch Superman. Spare yourself. Um, Al Pacino's a fine looking guy. He looks fine. In this movie, only everything else he's ugly. He's like 70 and he's dating a 16-year-old. I don't know what's going on there. Um, I don't like Al Pacino. I don't actually. I like Marlon Brando. He's a good guy. But in this, scary. I don't like him. He's got a weird jaw thing going on. Terrible movie. Too much Italian. Whew, not enough pasta. Too much mafia.
what a surprising thing that you a pasta chef does not think that there's enough pasta in this movie. Um but anyways, yeah, I've never seen The Godfather and I don't intend to because I feel like when you tell some people that you haven't seen Godfather, it's actually a very good distinction of whether or not you're going to be friends with that person. Because
Yeah.
if you're like, I've never seen The Godfather, and somebody reacts like, oh, okay, you might be friends with that person. But if they're like, oh, you've never seen The Godfather, I hate you and I'm never going to talk to you again. I'm sorry. That is not the movie of all time. This is a very specific movie that for some reason all of the men of the world are like, "Oh my god, this is the highest of highs." Um when incredible movies like Barbie exist. Um but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't I don't get the
It's just a
point.
male movie.
It's just a movie about the mafia.
And
It's
there's
just
three. There's three.
you guys already had the Ocean's 11 movies. I don't understand the difference.
Ocean's
That's
11.
crime. That's crime. Same thing.
It's a heist.
I've never seen Ocean's 11 either.
What does Ocean's 11 have to do with the Godfather?
Because old
Yeah.
men love Ocean's 11 too.
Oh.
And also that one's still about crime. So
Cr-
they're similar. I don't
Crime
know
and
why we
Brad
had to
Pitt.
bring the mafia into this.
Yeah. Mm.
Anyways, are there any redeeming qualities you found out about The Godfather?
Um,
Put it on to make your dad stop talking.
my my redeeming quality is that I like Marlon Brando. He's good, but I don't like him in the movie. I just like the actor in general because he's good in Superman. And
Yeah.
he's only in
Okay.
like 5 minutes of Superman too. He's not even in a lot of it. But that's what I
Um,
know him as. I know him as Superman's dad. I don't know him as whatever the heck in The Godfather. I don't know him as The
yo,
Godfather.
he's Superman's dad.
Yeah.
Papa?
He's really good too. He's like a little hologram, and Chris Reeves talks to him. Christopher Reeve, R.I.P. Um, he died a tragic death too. That poor guy. But Marlon Brand, I think he's dead too. But anyways, may they rest in
Anyways.
may they rest in pregnancy. Um. Anyways, I don't like The Godfather. Go ahead. Mention your next
Okay.
Disney movie.
Um, I'm I'm gonna say the next one. Um, this one, I rated 1 star, and it's High School Musical 3. Listen, I can understand a High School Musical 1. That's the original. I can understand 2 because that one happens in summer. But I don't need to see them graduate. I'm sorry, I don't need to see them graduate. Senior year is the worst. That's the worst. And also like in the first movie, like Troy and Gabriella break up, and it's like like it's the first time they do that, but they get back together. In the second movie, Troy and Gabriella break up, and then they get back together. I don't need to see them do it a third time. It's
Enough!
unnecessary.
Enough!
Enough. And also, I don't even remember any of the songs in the third movie. But at least in the second movie, when they did that for a second time, we got the classic song "Gotta Go My Own Way," which I feel like you probably don't. I don't think you've heard it. Well, I'm sure you've heard it, but I don't think you know the lyrics. But if you heard it, you would be like, "Oh, this song," because I feel like it's been so heavily memed that everybody knows the song. They just don't know that they know it until they hear it. Um, and it's a very dramatic song. And if you watch the scene, it's even better. It's even better if you watch the scene that goes with it. I gotta send you a video of it because I think it's so funny. But yeah, High School Musical 3. I don't know why you did that. Um, well, I do because it was doing really well for them. Um, which I found out recently that they were they had to like Vanessa Hudgens was um she had some photos leaked of her, which by the way were photos that were taken of her when she was underage. So that's even worse. But they made her apologize and were like, we're still gonna release the movie because it was the one movie they could get into like theaters. Because the first High School Musical movies they didn't get into theaters, but the third one they released to theaters. Um, so I think it was very important for the Disney people that they needed that movie. So I think that it's kind of gross that they made her apologize for that because it wasn't her fault. And she was underage. They have a history of doing that, by the way. Anyways, I don't have time to get into that. High School Musical 3 was a awful movie, and there are no redeeming qualities because I don't even remember any of the songs. So, yeah, moving on.
Okay, I have Knives Out. Um,
This is a
I
controversial one.
I have a bunch of controversial ones. I'm not a movie. I don't like a lot of movies. Um, but okay, I am gonna say I don't think I don't remember my ratings on Letterboxd, but I don't think I rated it that low because overall it was a great ending. Um, and I don't think it's that bad of a movie, genuinely. I just think it's too long. And I don't know how long it is, but it's too long. And I was bored and I was like, okay, just get to the point. Just tell us who killed the guy. Like I'm tired of just scavenging around and then this person's suspicious. Now this person's suspicious. Like I'd rather just play Clue.
Honestly, okay, can we talk about how Clue is an underrated game?
I've
I
um
crave I
I've never
crave
played
playing
Clue.
Clue.
I just
We
said
should
it
play
because
Clue together. Actually, I don't
okay,
think that we can. I don't think it's a two-player game.
we'll
But
get my
our
brother.
family, yeah, our family should play Clue together. Because I love that. I love that game. The last time I played that, I was like 12, so I did not play it well.
I don't think
But
I've ever played Clue. I just know how
I
it is.
I liked putting the little person card into the envelope and just watching my family fight over who did it, and I would just be like, I don't know who did it, even though I just put it in there and I'm not playing. I liked knowing who it was, but I also really wanted to guess, even though I already knew. Um, but anyways, um, yeah, it's I do like mysteries in a sense, but I I feel like it's really annoying after a while if it takes super long.
I was just stressed out. I was just like, just tell me. And but then once they like say who it is, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Anyways.
Yeah, I feel like the best mystery movies are like when the audience finds out halfway, but like the main character doesn't really understand what's going on for a little bit, not for too long. But I feel like the best and the most satisfying for me is when I know who it is and I get to see the main character fumble a little bit trying to figure it out, but
Hmm.
not too much because I don't like it when you know from the get go and you're just watching this guy not understand and arresting these people who had nothing to do with it, and you're like, no, it's this
Well,
guy.
like, then you have it in your mind that it's one person, and then it completely flip flops, and it's some other guy who you never suspected. Um,
Olivia, it's always the person you most medium suspect.
um, I don't know. I think it. I don't know. The ending makes sense. I surprisingly, I think Daniel Craig's really good in that movie, which doesn't say a lot because I don't like James Bond. But I don't think I rated it very low. I think I'd honestly give it a 2.5. Like it's not that bad, but it's just so long and like I had a friend who just watched it all the time. And like she saw it in theaters like 5 times. Like she loves that movie and I was like, "Why do you watch this so much?"
No, we okay. You we just talked about how we watched Blue Beetle in theaters like three or four times. I don't know if we have
Yeah,
any
but
room
that's a
to
good
speak.
movie.
Yeah, but that's a rewatchable movie.
All right, what's yours? Oh wait, do I have a
um,
redeeming quality? Ana de Armas is good.
yeah. Um, okay, I'm gonna. I'm gonna skip a couple that I have at the end, but I have to do my next one because I no, I'm gonna skip to a similar but different one. This one might surprise you because I've said good things about this movie, but Shrek 2, I gave it 2.5 stars, and I know that you remember that I say that this is the best sequel to ever exist, and that is true, but it's not the best movie to ever exist.
Wait, that's
And
so real.
yeah, because a perfect sequel adds new elements without being too confusing. It ties up things that we learned in the first movie. Um, it has some callbacks, but it's not like, hey, remember in the first movie when we did this? You know, it's not like it's not like overcompensating as just a remake of the first movie. And I think Shrek 2 perfectly does that. It adds new elements, it adds the new like town and everything. Um, and it adds like the fairy, like they had fairy
Fairy
tale creatures
godmother.
in the first one, but they had more magic in the second movie. Um, but saying all of that, Shrek 2 is not a very good movie. Um, they have some transphobia in the movie. That's not good. Um, and they it's just like there are some jokes that it's like, okay, I don't need to see Shrek fart for the 15th time in
I
20
know.
minutes. Can you
Dude, I
stop?
was
It's
not
not
too
funny.
long
It wasn't
ago.
funny the first time.
Not too long ago, I wanted to give Shrek a try. I've seen all of them. I when I was
Mm,
like when they were coming out when I was younger. Do I remember how they go? No, I don't. Do I remember a lot of scenes? Yes, I do. So I wanted to see I wanted to remember it. So I was like I started watching the first Shrek, got bored, started watching the second Shrek, got uncomfortable. So I turned it off and turned something else on.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Shrek 2, it's okay. Like I would rewatch it. Like talking about it now, I would actually rewatch it just for the ending, which is its redeeming quality. The ending is incredible. It's got the I Need a Hero, and that is one of the best renditions of the song that I've ever goddamn heard.
What made that song
Was
popular?
it yeah, was it the first time I ever heard that song? Yeah, because I was a kid. So I didn't grow up listening to the song. But I really liked the song when I heard it, and I was like, "Oh my god, Shrek has an original song," and I didn't know that somebody else wrote it. Um, and it made me like the fairy godmother, even though she was literally ruining everything. Um, and anyways, it was a very it was a very good ending. It was so satisfying. So yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars, but that's its redeeming quality is the ending. Good music.
No one liked Shrek. Actually, everybody likes Shrek. You and me are everyone.
Yeah.
um,
Um,
I did want to add another one onto my list that I didn't put on my list. And that's the Jungle Jumanji movie, the remake, not the one with Robin Williams, the one with the Jack Black and Kevin Hart and The Rock. Isn't the Kevin Hart and The Rock in that?
the Kevin
Um,
Hart.
I'm pretty sure they're in that.
His
Um,
heart is in the movie.
can I just say, when you're excited to see Nick Jonas on the screen, that's a bad movie.
I'm gonna
um,
be. Isn't Karen Gillan also in that movie? That's the
yeah.
only thing I know about that movie is that she's in it and The Rock.
Well, you want to know something weird? Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. I was going to, but then I looked at the
Don't.
reviews and I was like, "That's not worth it." Amy's
It's
not
so
even my
bad.
favorite
Um,
companion.
it sounds like a good idea because you have all these really good actors. But then you remember that like they're in a video game, and so
They are.
yeah, and so it's not like the actors acting like themselves. Like it's like the actors like so like I'm pretty sure a boy plays as Karen Gillian and it's really bad. I don't like it. They're like sexualizing her the whole time. They're like, "Oh, I have boobs now." It's terrible. And I feel bad that Karen had to go through that.
Yeah.
And then like Jack Black is like his character like they make fun of his weight, I think, and like they just make fun of him and it's just I hate it. It's terrible. And I'm pretty sure that's when the Jonas brothers were freshly like broken up. And I mean, I don't remember when they broke up, but it like Nick Jonas was solo around
I
that
mean, they
time.
were still brothers.
Thanks,
You
Gigi.
can't break up with your brothers.
But the I or no, they had freshly gotten back together. That was what the thing was. And Nick Jonas, by no means do I enjoy the Jonas Brothers. By no means. Um but when I saw Nick Jonas in that, it was like a breath of fresh air. I like got so excited to see him because I was like it was just like so boring that when you saw Nick Jonas, you were like finally something entertaining. And he was entertaining in that movie. You can't hear
um,
that, can you?
I can.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm sure the 10 subscribers won't mind. I'll also giggle a little when I'm editing it later.
um,
um,
but yeah, it's a terrible movie and I hate it. I watched it in theaters and I had two friends come with me. One of them fell asleep. We
I would too.
were also in the front row, I'm pretty sure.
Ew.
So yeah.
It's got to be that bad of a movie that you fall asleep in the front row. Isn't the light right next to your face?
I like looked over at my friend. She was like snoring. It was so funny. Um, but yeah. What's your movie?
Um, I'll just pick one more so that we can wrap it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna talk to you a second about. I have two Adam Sandler movies on here, by the way, but I gotta talk to you about Click. Click is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I did rate it 1.5 stars on Letterboxd, but I don't really know why. I think I was trying to give it to the benefit of the doubt. Because I used to find Adam Sandler movies funny when I first watched them when I was like 11 years old. Um, but rewatching Click, let me tell you, it is the strangest and most awful movie. By the way, end of the movie, it was all a dream. But because of the dream, because of the dream, he becomes a better man for it. So it was one of those types of movies. But the movie starts out with him being loud and angry, like Adam Sandler is in every. He plays the same character in every movie. He's always loud and angry, and he's always talking like this. He shouts in full caps the entire movie, um, and in everything he's in. But anyways, he goes to a Bed Bath and Beyond, and he sees the words bed, and he walks past bed aisle bath, and then he goes into Beyond, and it's a little door, and this guy sells him a remote, and that's why it's called Click, because he can just click to pause people now. Um, and he goes home with it, and he discovers the things that it can do. And then he accidentally fast forwards through his life sometimes. It's a very strange movie. It is not good. It makes you feel bad because you don't like the main character. You don't like Adam Sandler's character. You don't like his kids. You don't like his wife. You don't like the person that his wife marries in the pretend universe of the future when she gets divorced from Adam Sandler's character, as she should, because he's an awful person. um, so you don't have no reason to root for anybody in the story, but you still feel bad because you're seeing a family just being torn apart by this sentient clicker. Because now because he uses it so much, it just fast forwards whenever it wants to. Also, they went back in time and saw his mother um, creating him and birthing him, so that was fucking weird. um, but anyways, at the end of this movie, at the end of the dream, he dies. Um, and then he wakes up in an actual bed, and somebody's like, "Hey, you can't be sleeping in those." Um, so yeah, it's a weird movie. It was not a good movie. I would go as far as to say that it was worse than any other Adam Sandler movie I've ever seen.
And there's a lot of
Um,
really bad Adam Sandler movies out there.
redeeming quality. Um, the wife was kind of cute. I don't know. I don't know. I like women, so
Um, I've
but
never
yeah,
seen that. I try to avoid Adam Sandler movies.
as you should. Honestly, everybody should do that. My one tip from all of this is don't watch any Adam Sandler movies. Please stop giving him work. As I've said in season 1, please stop giving him work.
Remember when Uncut Gems came out?
I don't
Everybody
think
was
I
like, "Oh, his first serious movie."
I don't think I ever watched that or heard of that. So,
Well, it's like, I guess it's not a comedy. That's all I know about it.
uh, but yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, shall we wrap it up then?
I believe so. You want to take us out?
um,
Ah!
okay, well, thanks for watching, Pasta Fam. We love you. We miss you. We hope you eat some good pasta soon.
Good night and good luck.